Hello, today is the 9th. It is our weekly updates. So this week, let's talk about evictions and Propertyware. Evictions were still on hold until October 3rd. We had some evictions ready to lock out the tenant, and within hours before the lockout, the tenant presented the CDC form or answer the court, and everything has stopped. So this is something that we have to deal with for a few more weeks, and hopefully it will end on October 3rd. Tenants that do not pay rent, we are encouraging them to file for renters assistance. However, they don't want to. And I don't understand why, because most of the people that have applied have obtained rental assistance. It just takes about 30 days to get that check on behalf of the tenant. Something else very important is it's that on September 4th, unemployment stopped. So that's where we see a big impact. Now, on the other hand, in Vegas, we are extremely understaffed. So if somebody wants to work, there is work. My understanding is that people do not want to go out to work because they're afraid of the rise in COVID. So that's what it's impacting us at the moment, because there is no more unemployment, and people are not going back to work. If I heard correctly on the news, 1 out of 8 people that was receiving unemployment has applied for work. The other have not, and I'm not sure what they're thinking. So now, on a more positive note, let's talk about Propertyware. Last week, I asked if everybody could please help by logging into your accounts, verifying your information and your payment information. Today, we are starting to be proactive and trying to get our statements out on time. We will share them on Propertyware because we want them to be there so that if you need them in the future, you lost them and you need them, they will be there with documents. And remember that I also mentioned last week, we need to upload leases, rules and regulations for associations. And these are not new documents, but it is new to the system. It's there for the tenants to see. And also, if you need to see a lease and you misplaced it, that's where it's going to be. Now, here's the trick with Propertyware. It takes about, I said this last week, it takes about 5 days turnaround for the tenant's money to clear the bank. And what's worse is that it could be day 8 and with the holiday, and we will see NSFs from tenants. But for me to meet my deadline with you, I have to release your funds ahead of time, taking in account that it may return. So with that said, you may have received notices that something posted or your new document or a statement. I have to release it with 5 days in advance so that you will receive your payment on time, as long as the tenant made a payment. And that is what's happening. So you will still get your statements emailed to you when they're ready to meet our normal deadline of the 10th, unless your tenant did not pay their rent. And we will also upload it to Propertyware so that you have it for the future, and you will get a notification when that happens. Now, I don't want to shut off that notification, because if I do that, then you're not going to know if there is an NSF, if the rent has not been paid, if there is a work order. So that's the reason why you will get a notification. Other than that, everything else is still the same. What I just read yesterday on, I believe it was the Review Journal, it's what I had been predicting all along, and that is that our market has cooled off a bit. I personally think we're going to see that coming as evictions start getting to go through the courts, because the more houses that become available, of course, it's going to impact rents and house prices as well. But that's just my personal prediction. And when I saw, I think it was the Review Journal yesterday, talk about it, I'm like, okay, so my theory was correct. Anyways, expect to get your statements by Friday. If you have an opportunity to log into your account, I would like you to verify your banking information, your most current address, because we're almost at the end of the year and 1099s are going to be printed, and they're going to be printed to the address that you see on Propertyware, that you see on your statement, and we want to prevent any future problems. With that note, we will be generating 1099s in a few days from the previous software on AppFolio. If there's anything specific that you may need, we need to know in the next month, because after October, we will not be able to retrieve any information from AppFolio. We have copied all the ledgers, and we will be pulling the 1099s and reports before October. Thank you very much and have a good week.